Any other question?
Yeah, a question from N. Vilken in the YouTube says, in the Bible it says that death will be coming out of the graves. What exactly does this mean, and how do we interpret and understand that? Can you
Who wrote
elaborate?
it? Who wrote Bible? What it meant in the Bible? And whose Bible? And what was the purpose of putting it there? Any other question? I'm not a believer in what you call what is written in the holy books, because it's all written to fit. None of it has been, or very small part of it has been. Siphoning of which side, which part is real is a different thing. As I said to knowledge seekers, I go for a history, and history does not lie because it's written by many and it can be confirmed by many. One man writing does not make the history book, but when it's done by two or three simultaneously at the time of occurrence is a better indication. Men have put things in to fit them. Men have brought things to fit them. And men have done a lot of things to fit it, to a lot of things for the rest to believe. And Christianity is one of them, which is full of it. Literally. Nothing in Torah is real. Torah is a storybook of many old histories brought back into one history book and given one name for them to all to fit. It's actually, if you read the historical type of Torah and what you read as a Torah, is the history of the what I call grandma's chat, which has been collected by who said what and could have had one beginning and then built up and built up and has become the Torah. There's nothing, there's a big question mark in the actual truth about the whole real structure of the Torah. There was a guy called Moses. He did certain things, but the rest of the book is just made up from history. You're from this village, you brought part of your history, you elaborated, and instead of Mr. John, you put Moses in it. The other guy came, he saw an apple falling, rotting, and a worm came out of it. He changed it to this and that, put the Moses on it, it became in Torah. And because there is no historical background to it, but you see, it's all a bunch of what I call lies, or lies in a way of stories of the time changed to, because it had to be made to be fit for somebody to be good. And this is the same with all the religions. How, what is being written, what it fits. If you look at it in what you say, the race comes out of the cup, and yes, I tell you what, in English we call it, as most of you know, it's called the last spell. The last spell was that those days they didn't know when you're actually dead. They used to leave your body on the table for a few days, and if you didn't move anymore, they buried you. And then sometime in the future, when they came to dig the graves out, they found out the guy is not the way he was left to be dead. Actually, he was alive, and now he's trying to dig himself out. They connected the rope to his toe, and they put the bell on top of the grave, and somebody sat there for a few days that If he comes back, he rings the bell and they jump in and get him out. And now, if what happened, a guy dies and alive, they bury him, and there's no bell, and that soul has to come out, leaves the body, because just because you thought it's physically dead, is not dead. Now dies in the grave, and the soul comes out. Would that be that meaning? People who they buried by mistake, or does he have another meaning? Even today's in modern medicine, every now and then it happens. Somebody they put in the mortuary, all the electronics says dead, it comes back. And they hear kicking and bashing into what they call in the mortuary. Is it that? Are they trying to tell us they were aware of some people being buried alive, but they put it in different form? This is all part of the who decided to have a say, and I managed to get a paragraph in the Torah. Managed to get a story in the story of the Bible, and this is what it is. Written 300-400 years later. Most of the people who wrote or told these stories to be written by order of Quraysh, it didn't even come from Palestine. There was no chance they could have ever met Moses or Jesus. Impossibility. But now they say a story about something somewhere. To read about Christ, read the historical books written at the time, during that time. And then you'll see if there is any references and if there are any magics anywhere written by anyone. The rest is grandmother's story, which is made a holy book. And I can pick up story after story and tell you where it comes from, most of it, how it was put in. In a way, if you look at Torah, Quraysh got it to be written to celebrate Jehovah, the God of what they call people of the area. And with it, in writing it, they praised him in the book he got to be written. It was a self-praisal. But it had to be put a lot of other things to it. Otherwise the Torah did not exist before Quraysh, in a shape or any form. And there's one king writing something about another God that praises him for being there, doing things. Even though a lot of it was on a goodwill. And now it's become the pattern and the rest of it. To give the right to. And we see it haven't changed after 3,000 or 4,000 years. They still do the same, what I call massacres, as we see in Gaza, as they've done in the time of the guy, and we've seen the same by them in the past decades and centuries. As I said before, if we do it, they say they've done it, when they do it to themselves, nobody can be blamed. And with what's happening in Gaza, you will see the end of the state of Israel by themselves. You will see it's coming up. By the conduct of the misconduct, by the same as done by Moses, they became Bedouin and they were left in the desert. Now, Netanyahu is doing exactly the same, because it's the behavior, and you see the end of, they become nomads again. They do it by themselves. And you will see in coming time, I advise the Iranian government to take a step to do it faster, and they're sitting and watching, but they do it to themselves. The way Moses brought with his behavior to become nomad. This situation will bring Israel to that point. In a way, they've been trying to destroy Palestine, and they destroy themselves. But because they do it themselves, nobody can blame. And we see the end of Judaism. It's come to its full cycle. It's the time, and they do it themselves. When you kill 10,000 children, snipers, these souls has to be answered to the suffering mothers and fathers. So excuses does not give a reason to. And nobody could do it better than Netanyahu. You will see the end of Judaism with this, because a lot of Jews will walk away from it because of it, and you will see more and more nations will turn back on, and sooner or later we see they've done it themselves by their own behavior, by the misconduct of the way they were taught to. They made the same mistake. And we saw what happened when Moses was there. This guy has no soul, so imagine what happens with the rest of them which are there. Any other question?